Salute West. Gilbert Arenas indicted on illegal gambling operation and sex trafficking. We're going to try to make this as fast as possible because tonight we're going live with the content. This might come out after the content. Who knows how that works? But we finna get this out the way. Hit that like button if you haven't already done it. Subscribe if you're trying to feel the vibes of the Damu Keyway conversations. So we're going to get into this. Gilbert Arenas was arrested. Los Angeles native. We're going to go ahead and go to Poetic Jala. Poetic Jala. We're going to let him tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll play the news clipping afterwards. Let's go ahead and get into this. Damu Keyway. Hit that like button.
Right now, but today is already the most shocking day in media this year so far.
Performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey.
Conversation.
30 minutes ago, multiple updates about a minute apart that has shaken up the year. Shannon Sharpe has been officially fired by ESPN, and Gilbert Arenas just got arrested by the feds, and he's facing 15 years in prison. Now, let's tackle the Shannon Sharpe news because that's a little less shocking and more predictable, and then we'll get to this Gilbert Arenas madness. With the help of the ultimate ambulance chaser, Tony Busby, an OF model in her 20s, sued a 50-plus-year-old Shannon Sharpe for rape and related abuse, what she would say occurred in their 2-year relationship. Now, Shannon Sharpe initially came out and said he's innocent. He's going to fight this tooth and nail. This is an extortion ploy. He really took a stance that a lot of men appreciated. Because regardless if you have Shannon Sharpe money or not, it just leaves a bad taste in any man's mouth who watch a woman engage in consensual relations for 2 years and then wakes up one day and say, I'm going to sue this man for $50 million. It just doesn't make sense. And then messages got released where she's telling him to pay $25,000 for each cheek, allegedly after the quote-unquote rape and violations happened. It just screamed like an extortion ploy. And Shannon Sharpe took a stance that we thought he was going to stick to, but he didn't.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z.
So this lawyer is specializing in this niche of targeting rich, affluent, melanated kings, right? And this is what their message is. I wasn't there, don't know whether or not he's telling the truth or not, right? But for Poetic Flacco to act as if because he paid, that's a symbol of guilt, it's kind of a bit of a stretch. He's definitely taking the leap with that one. It does leave a taste, but sometimes it boils down to, look, I got too much to lose to be playing these games with this broad. We all know what it is. Let's go.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I wouldn't myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Shortly after this announcement, it was revealed that Shannon Sharpe was taking a hiatus away from ESPN and that he will be back at the start of the football season. So Shannon Sharpe said this was mutually agreed upon, that he wanted to take a step back from ESPN to focus on this, and he'll be back. And they all assured that he did not get fired, that he was still a part of the ESPN team, and we still love Shannon Sharpe. But behind the scenes, there are rumblings that, man, after like their chick released audio of apparently Shannon Sharpe saying he would choke her, apparently this was something that her and Shannon Sharpe did. It was some role play stuff. But once she released the audio out of context, ESPN said, bro, this is just too messy, man. And there was rumblings that Shannon Sharpe was done at ESPN for good. But they would still maintain the fact that Shannon Sharpe was going to be back at the start of football season. Well, preseason has started. Shannon Sharpe hasn't been back at ESPN. So while people were trying to figure that out, we got a bombshell that got released that made everybody look at Shannon Sharpe a little crazy. So we got word that Shannon Sharpe and the accuser reached a settlement, right? And this came after like a week after we got reports that the court date that was scheduled for Shannon Sharpe and the accuser to have their first day in court, none of like the parties showed up. Like Shannon Sharpe and his attorneys never showed up, and Tony Busby and Gabby never showed up. So that was strange. So I guess a settlement was reached like a week before. So the first question is, come on, bruh. A settlement? Shannon Sharpe offered this chick $10 million apparently before they came forward. So if they rejected $10 million,
can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms are the same. Monday.com is the one you'll actually love.
Can you imagine what they settled for? And that's before we got reports on exactly what the amount was. Tony Busby actually released a statement after the news of the settlement got released. And he said both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolutions. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. Yo, when you put language like that, man, you know you content, bro. You satisfied. You good with what the outcome is. And then after Tony Busby said this, to make matters worse for Shannon Sharpe in the eyes of the public, Gabby released a statement of her own. And this statement really pissed men off everywhere, bro. I'm talking about boiled the blood of men everywhere. A statement like this really makes me despise Shannon Sharpe. Gabby released a statement letting the world know she is officially retired after the settlement. So Gabrielle Zuniga wrote a statement. Now, she didn't address the fact that, she pushed Shannon Sharpe through hell. She just says, today, I have decided to retire from OF. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this new chapter. I love you all forever and ever. And the reason why this pissed off a lot of men, because the very thought that degeneracy, like lies. Now, if Shannon Sharpe settled, maybe she wasn't lying. But the very thought that this woman lied, used degeneracy, used hoeing to a retirement at 23 years old, that pissed off a lot of men, bro. And it made me look at Shannon Sharpe a little crazy, bro. Because from his first message, I thought he was for the cause. I thought Shannon Sharpe was going to ride us out. But then reports came out that Shannon Sharpe settled for $23 million. He put $23 million in his woman's pockets. That right there just pissed me off to the point where, I can't even look at Shannon Sharpe the same. I haven't watched a Shannon Sharpe nightcap episode since. I haven't watched a Shannon Sharpe interview since. I can't even look at that man the same, bro. You retired a 23-year-old scallywag. She won't ever have to work again for the rest of her life. And you only got to clap cheeks for a year and a half? And half of that, you was paying for the cheeks because we've seen the messages. She's telling you $25K a cheek. Bro, I despise you, man. And ESPN was apparently as disgusted as the rest of us because ESPN announced this morning they're done with Shannon Sharpe. He's fired. They have parted ways. Now, this was not like an amicable statement. This was not like the previous statement. We have mutually decided to put, no, he's fired. We have let him go. Sports Illustrated confirmed the news that Shannon Sharpe was fired by Andrew Marchand. Now, there was no talks of a settlement of a buyout because when he left Fox or when he got fired from Fox, there was a buyout. Fox paid out the rest of his salary. But with ESPN, they had every right to fire Shannon Sharpe. I believe there's some type of moral clause there. So Shannon Sharpe was hoping, that he could probably have them buy out some of his contract. And let's say Shannon Sharpe contract was 5 years, $25 million, and this is like the first year, and he was still owe, let's say $20 million. well, they would have had to buy out Shannon Sharpe for the $20 million if they just wanted him to go away. But when you fire Shannon Sharpe for violating like your rules, you don't have to pay him out nothing. And that's what it looks like. Now, Shannon Sharpe was in the works of a $100 million podcast deal before this lawsuit. I don't know if that podcast deal is still on the table, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know, bro. All right, because now whoever was about to sign Shannon Sharpe, they got all the leverage. All right, now they can throw Shannon Sharpe probably 50 of this. $50 million is still a blessing, especially after paying Gabby Zanuga $23 million.
We have breaking news. Having just learned former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested. He and 5 others are accused of operating an illegal gambling business. The Department of Justice says they had high-stakes poker games at Arenas' Encino mansion. Arenas is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business, 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business, and 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. He's expected to appear in court this afternoon in downtown L.A. We will continue to follow.
Now they got leverage on them. If they charged him for perjury, making a false statement to the police, I mean, he was interviewed and he lied in some kind of deposition. That's leverage. He might be facing some jail time. Remember, Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenton, old Laker draft pick, nigga, back in the Kobe. He was used in a trade to get Paul Gasol. It was Marc Gasol, Aaron McKee, and Paul Gasol. Marc Gasol, Aaron McKee, and Javaris Crittenton, plus some draft picks for Paul Gasol. And Marc Gasol went to Memphis. Paul Gasol went to the Lakers. But Crittenton ended up in Washington, and I think they had a 10-step draw or something in D.C., Southeast D.C., Slim. Yo, Slim, that Joker did a 10-step draw, Slim. But it sounds like they got some leverage on him if he lied. So, and more than likely, if he got indicted, they got some snitches. Whether the snitches is credible, he's innocent until proven guilty.
Follow this story throughout the day here on Eyewitness News.
The headline for this Gilbert Arenas arrest made this situation sound even crazier than what it already is. Like, it's already crazy Gilbert Arenas is being arrested by the feds. But to say that Gilbert Arenas is being arrested by the feds and his co-defendant is somebody tied to an organized crime organization in Israel, it's crazy. Like, bro, what type of stuff are you getting into, sir?
This company is going viral for its new process that gives you permanent teeth in just
top hats.
The headline is a former NBA star Gilbert Arenas, a suspected Israeli crime figure, were arrested to in which highest question whenever I get news like one of these multi-super rich millionaires dudes are involved in organized crime, it's like, why? Like, was there a financial incentive here? You're Gilbert Arenas. Like, bro, your podcast make $1 million a month. You probably got about like 20 or 30 M's left over from the NBA alone. Your son about to be, well, he's been injured, but your son might just be a lottery pick in the NBA. So you good in that regards. Your other son looking like he's going to be a lottery pick in the NBA as well if he grows a couple more inches. Bro, you set for life. You don't need the extra money from crime. You just don't. So when I read exactly what took place and I read the indictment, Gilbert Arenas himself never participated in the high-stake poker games or the illegal gambling. Gilbert Arenas was sitting at the top of the food chain because he owned the mansion and he rented out the mansion and he got a portion of the proceeds. So
he owned the mansion, but he rented out the mansion. Which one of them is it, Poetic Flacco? And it seems like you already convicted him based on what's being alleged. Pardon me, I had to wet my whistle. Based on what is being alleged, you just take the government's position off the top. Oh, he was at the top. He didn't actually participate in the gambling. He was at the top. But didn't they just say that he was working with some small hats. You just put him at the top. American justice cuts off at the melanated king, right? Go ahead and put one of the small hats, cut them all the way out. Even though you're alleging that they were part of this, they work for Gilbert Arenas. He's supposed to bite the bullet. Don't you understand that they gatekeep? They line niggas up like Gilbert Arenas. What the fuck is you thinking, Poetic Jala? Jala? What are you thinking? You thinking they was working up under him because he rented the mansion. They're a lot smarter than to rent the mansion in their name and you bite like a big mouth bass. It's the lineup. Niggas line. Man, let's get to this conversation.
If this is an international boss who's running this, and this is high stakes poker, we're talking about millions of dollars on a daily basis is coming in and out of that mansion. And Gilbert Arenas got a cut of it. First thing I noticed, none of this dude's like co-defendants got an English name.
How does he get a cut of it? If he's running it and he's at the top, how did he get a cut of it? He gonna take majority of it. If he was the head, maybe that's the narrative they want him to go. Let's go, man. Let him talk.
Homie, all his co-defendants, man, Yagivani Grossman, Ivajani Tokofakasisk, Alan Australia, Johan Cohen. Oh, no. We know what this is, homie. Ivakan Krashak. So all his co-defendants are from Israel, Israelis, okay? So the indictment says former NBA star Gilbert Arenas and 5 other defendants, including a suspected high-level member of an Israeli transnational organized crime group, were arrested today on a federal indictment alleging they operated an illegal gambling business in which high-stake poker games were played at an Encino mansion Gilbert Arenas owned. Now, it says that Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero of Woodland Hills, is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business, 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business, and 1 count of making false statements to federal prosecutors. Now, each one of these charges got a maximum of 5 years. So he's facing 15 years maximum, okay? He is scheduled to make, so right now he's still in custody, by the way. So he's scheduled to make his initial appearance and be arraigned this afternoon. Now, when you scroll down and you read this, Gilbert Arenas never really gambled, but he was getting proceeds from the illegal operation that was going on in his mansion. And these people were operating as a legal casino. You would think if this was illegal and not allowed and something that faced this much of severe punishment, you would think that these people wouldn't be operating this as flamboyantly as they were. So according to the indictment, on July 15th and until today, from September 2021 to July 2022, Gresham, Arenas, and other defendants operated an illegal gambling business. Arenas, this is his role in it. He rented out an Encino mansion he owned for the purpose of hosting high-stake illegal poker games at Arenas' direction. Now, they're claiming that Arenas was the one at the top. Now, I don't think that Gilbert Arenas is bossing around a transnational crime boss, but they claim that Gilbert Arenas directed all.
Arenas is the top of the food chain because he's the one that rented the place and he told them what to do as far as the operations. So if these top hats, the small hats, didn't have nothing to do with it, then why is they charged also? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small hats was also charged. If you said that he told them to do it and they told on him, what is you saying?
Arthur and West Hollywood staged the mansion to host the games, found co-conspirators to host the games, and collected rent from the co-conspirators on Gilbert Arenas' behalf. So Now, I'll be real. This is worse than I thought. This is worse than I thought. I was thinking that these dudes approached Gilbert Arenas and said, hey, bro, we want to host high-stake poker games here. Can we rent out the mansion and we'll give you a fee? They're saying, nah, Gilbert Arenas came up with this idea on his own. Yo, hold on, man. But we can have multi-million-dollar deals going on in this mansion that I don't use, and they can just pay me. Oh, no. So Gilbert Arenas is who sought out the crime bosses. Man. This is crazy. Okay, so it goes on. Gresham to Vakashaki, Austria.
Gilbert Arenas sought out the crime bosses. So the small hat mafia is he sought them out. This is what they're trying to say. Sound like they trying to tell on him. I hope this ain't true, and the brother Duke is innocent until pleading guilty. If this was true, this is a classic case of being too smart for your own good. That nigga GA, man, Agent Zero, man. Salute. Big Angelinos in the building. LA, West Coast.
And Cohen managed illegal pot limit Omaha poker games, among other illegal games at the Casino Mansion, and collected a rake, either a percentage or a fixed amount per hand, and invited players to compete. They also hired young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massages, offered companionship to the poker players. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. Now that's some serious allegations right there. Because if they could prove that part, oh man, it's nasty for my boy, man. Now that's like some human trafficking, pimping and pandering. You know what I'm saying? That's how they gonna try to argue that. You know? Let's get to the next to the content.
Trafficking included in this?
Jeez.
So women were charged a tax, a percentage of their earnings from working in games.
Now they taxing.
So understand what's happening here, bro. A tax from working in games. They were offering companionship. Man, bro, they were selling coochie in there, bro. Hold on, bro. Illegal. Oh, Gilbert, you messed up, bro. Gilbert, nah, bro. Bro. This is, bro, like a Diddy party mixed with an Italian mob style. Nah, this is crazy, bro. So chefs, valets, and armed security guards also were hired to stab these illegal poker games. Krishan worked as a chip runner in which the track player wins and losses, distributed poker chips to players, and pay employees. Can you imagine being a police, right? And you just driving by one day, not really understanding what's going on. You know, you just driving by doing your routine shift run. And you see armed security outside, you see Bugattis and Rolls Royces being valeted. You you see girls walking in like poker uniforms. You're asking yourself, wait, what's going on here? Now it's unclear exactly how they got caught. I guess we'll find out once the indictment gets uploaded. But this is bad, man. This is bad. And Gilbert Arenas was just on a podcast making fun of Malik Beasley and his illegally gambling situation. Yo, gambling is whooping y'all behind. So y'all got to give it up at this point, man.
Supposed to tell
but y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think about these two stories? And yo, should I start doing more videos where I combine two stories? Let me know, okay? And if you
man, we ain't caring about that. Poetic Jala. Poetic Jala. Nigerian nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Poetic Jala. So we're going to get into this other little news video on the boy. Let's get to this. Hold up. And then we almost finished. Man, my computer is really so. I'm going to delete some stuff up off of here. Okay, boom. So we can go here. It's still not letting me grab the I know y'all can't see me, that's all right. Y'all don't need to see me as long as y'all can see the content. All right, here we go. Let's make sure y'all can see that. Oh yeah, y'all good. Shit, we got about 3 minutes, man. I told y'all these things is a lot shorter now to pre-record. Let's go.
Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested and is now facing federal charges for allegedly running an illegal gambling ring out of his San Fernando Valley home.
Arenas, along with several others, were arrested today. One of them, a suspected high-level member of an Israeli organized crime group. Arenas has already made his first court appearance, facing a judge this afternoon in downtown L.A. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade live with more. Mary Beth.
Yeah, and Mike and Sherry, as the hours wear on, I'm getting to read these court documents a little bit further. And so it appears that the illegal gaming up here at this Encino mansion began back in September 2021 and then came to a screeching halt the night of July 19th, 2022. That's when the feds raided this Encino mansion. At the time, there were 26 high-stakes poker players inside, as well as a lot of staff that were made up of young women, chefs, valets, and security guards.
You're asking me, I'm telling you.
Former NBA All-Star turned podcaster Gilbert Arenas was allegedly running illegal high-stakes poker games out of his Encino mansion. Arenas, who the feds dubbed Agent Zero, and 7 others, including a suspected Israeli international crime boss and a West Hollywood lawyer, have been charged in a federal indictment. The former Washington Wizards player is accused of renting out his Encino Mansion Drive for the illegal games, which were allegedly hosted by his co-conspirators. According to court documents, Arenas texted one of his co-conspirators this picture of a poker table in connection to the games, which allegedly took place from September 2021 to July 2022. A neighbor recalls seeing unusual activity and scantily clad women during that time frame.
Well, just mostly people coming out at all hours. Usually I'd see women, though, coming out. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning and taking off with whomever in a car down the street.
The alleged Israeli crime boss, Yevgeny Gershman, is accused of hiring young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massages, and offered companionship to the poker players. The women were charged a tax, a percentage of their earnings from working the games.
The more people you have who are willing to engage in stuff that's illegal or high risk puts us all in certain situations that we don't want to be in.
Arenas and several of his co-defendants have been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Arenas was also charged with 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. Yeah, he apparently told investigators that he didn't know what was going on up here at his Encino mansion. And we have learned that the mansion was sold a few years ago and now operates as a drug and alcohol rehab facility. For now, reporting live here in Encino.
Damn. And there you have it, man. GA, good luck, brother. We praying for you. Man is innocent until guilty. We up out of here. Damu Kiwe conversation. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share. Tell a friend. Y'all done been with the dime. It's Deuce Sims. Deuce Sims, the dime. 30s. We